hidey hole food plots can be a great addition to any hunting strategy. Here at the Proving Grounds, we've tagged a lot of critters over hidey hole food plots. And a lot of times those hidey hole food plots become that limited resource in that big timber country where the main food source during the fall is dominated by acorns, or in areas where finding or hunting pinch points may be difficult. Whether that's because the terrain is just flat as a pancake and deer could be willy-nilly anywhere, or like here in the Ozarks where we have steep terrain, getting into some of our pinch points that may be down in the bottom of a valley or on a side slope where we may have limited days that we can effectively hunt there due to the thermals and the swirling wind. That's why many of our hidey holes at the Proving Grounds 2 are located on top of ridges where that wind is more consistent. Last fall, team member Cody Kraut, who hunts in Illinois, used the hidey hole strategy and he saw a pile of deer. In fact, even had a great encounter with a nice buck. Cody's hunting in Illinois and you may be saying, man, there's pinch points everywhere, travel corridors are easy to find, there's food, man, life is good hunting there. Well, Cody's found those little hidey hole food plots are some of his best hunting locations. And the reason is once all the crops are removed and acorns start hitting the ground, deer need carbs. They're still going to acorns and they're going to be in the timber. If he can tuck that little hidey hole food plot in the timber where there are some acorns, he's got acorns and greens right there close. And that's where the deer are going to be. Knowing this, Cody's taken the time this summer to create several more hidey hole food plots on the properties that he can hunt. And during late summer, a big rain was forecasted to move in. And Cody went in and he broadcast Green Cover Seeds hidey hole broadcast blend in that same hidey hole food plot he had hunted last season. It wasn't long before that seed started to germinate and come on strong. Cody put a Moultrie mobile overlooking that hidey hole food plot and the deer started pouring in. You'll notice that Cody was getting quite a few daylight pictures of deer in his hidey hole. And that's typical with those hidey hole food plots that are positioned in the timber. And that's because deer feel very comfortable getting up and moving during daylight hours, grabbing a few bites to eat before maybe going on to the ag field or a larger destination food plot to feed after dark. Or they're coming back from that large food source in the morning that they've left before shooting light starts. They travel through the timber and grab a few extra bites in the hidey hole during shooting light. Those little hidey holes act as almost staging areas or transition areas between that food and cover, and a lot of times that can be the key of seeing deer during daylight hours. This little hidey hole food plot sits right up next to several large white oaks, and when those white oaks are dropping, deer can just bounce back and forth between acorns and green food. They don't have to move very far. There's a lot of food in the area. Cody was excited to see all that action in the hidey hole, and while he was waiting for favorable hunting conditions, he was punching the old morel target, getting ready for that time when he had venison in range. Finally, the conditions were right, and it was time for Cody to head to the hidey hole food plot.
Well, good morning from Illinois, and I know what you're thinking, and I agree, orange is not my most flattering color. However, here in Illinois, it's the youth season. We're up on this little oak flat that we put in a hidey hole a few years back. That's the Green Cover hidey hole blend, and it came up awesome. It looks great. This is a great spot whenever you're thinking, I don't know if they're going to be hitting the greens or the acorns. I'm really excited to see what happens today, so we're going to go ahead and settle in and hope for the best.
Cody was enjoying the morning when he spotted a young buck and a doe working around the edge of the food plot. You probably noticed this buck has an odd looking antler, and that's likely due to a damaged pedicle where that antler developed abnormally. Unfortunately, the doe never came in range to give Cody a shot opportunity, but he wasn't climbing down. He figured the action was just starting to heat up. As Cody was sitting there, something caught his eye, eating acorns under an oak. It was a big old groundhog, and wouldn't you know it, Cody had an arrow in his quiver just for coyotes and groundhogs. Cody made a great shot, and he's got some fresh groundhog meat to take home, but he's still looking for some venison. The yearling buck and doe came back to the edge of the food plot and actually stopped by a scrape, and you'll notice both deer kind of put their noses up to check out that overhanging limb. It's early October, scrape activity is just starting to kind of pick up a bit. Of course, deer can use scrapes year round, but the scrape activity really starts picking up as the pre-rut ramps up, because scrapes are a communication hub. And I think it's pretty interesting and important to note that these deer, both a buck and a doe, come in and check that scrape out. As that doe comes out into the food plot, Cody can tell she's a bit antsy, and she's a little further than he really wishes to shoot, so he's patient and lets that doe drift off.
She was sure skittish, and I'm not sure why. Sure is fun seeing deer, and I'm just happy to be back in a tree.
Not long after that, Cody spotted more deer feeding into the plot. If you watch closely, the button buck and the doe, they're just nipping the tops off of the forage. They're grabbing a bite here, they're moving over a step, grabbing another bite. They're picking and choosing exactly which leaves, and the tops of those leaves, the most palatable part, that are nutrient dense, which leaves they wish to consume. Nice shot, Cody. That doe's not going to be far.
All right. Man, we've had a lot of deer come passing through here this morning. But in the end, the prime got to do some work, and the mega meat will help out and make for a short trail.
The shot was only about 20 yards or so, but you'll notice she still reacted to the sound of the shot. You can see if we place a dot on where Cody's arrow hit and we back it up, you can really see how much that deer dropped several inches and reacted to the shot. This is a great reminder for archery hunters to aim at that lower third. If the deer doesn't react, you're in the vitals. If that deer reacts to your shot and ducks or maybe turns a bit, you may hit high, but a lot of times you're still going to be in the vitals, especially when shooting within about 30 yards or so. You get past 30 yards and a deer can have a lot of time to react, and you may actually wound or miss that deer. Cody knew this, and that's why he opted to pass that doe that came through earlier during his hunt. It paid off. He didn't risk wounding or missing that doe and alerting the area. He was patient and waited for a doe to come in within effective range, and he was going home with venison.
That's awesome. Whew. Fun way to kick off the 2023 deer season. Just feeling very thankful to be a bow hunter. Just out here enjoying creation. I mean, whew, you gotta love it. Gotta love it. Big old groundhog with the G5 Montec. I like to keep a couple of Montecs in my quiver in case I see a coyote or a groundhog, because I like to shoot the mega meats, but these Montecs are so durable, they're ideal for shooting coyotes and stuff like that. But you can see all the acorns around here. I mean, there are just everywhere over here. And we've got so many white oaks. I mean, it's just white oak, white oak, white oak, white oak. My stand's in a white oak, and then in our Hidey hole over here, there's 3 white oaks in it. So, I mean, this is just an awesome spot. A lot of options for them to eat. My stand's in that white oak right there, and right here is our arrow. Got good blood on it. She headed towards the corner over here, so we're gonna go ahead and pick up the trail and see if we can't find her.
Growing Deer is brought to you by Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's. Also by Green Cover Food Plots, Winchester, Moultrie Mobile, Fleet Outdoor Apparel, Morel Targets, Fourth Arrow, Scorpion Venom Archery, Case IH Tractors, Ward Laboratories, Burris Optics, G5 Broadheads, Prime Bows, and Redneck Hunting Blinds.
Look at that hole from that mega meat.
Cody's a very skilled hunter, and he's got some great bucks showing up on his Moultrie Mobile. I suspect it won't be long before we're sharing another hunt from Cody in Illinois. Even though Cody hunts in Illinois, where you typically think of row crops and easy to find bottlenecks, he's taken his hunting to the next level by creating some bottlenecks, some pinch points, using hidey hole food plots. And pairing those hidey holes with acorns, man, it's been dynamite for Cody and resulted in venison. A lot of times in ag country, acorns get overlooked. Guys get consumed with those bottlenecks or big ag fields, and they forget the power of acorns. Even in ag country, if you can find an oak that's dropping acorns, usually that's a limited resource, and those type of limited resources become really tight bottlenecks, and there's definitely going to be some deer in the area. Hidey holes are just one of the strategies we use to see and tag venison, and we'll be sharing more of our hunting strategies throughout the fall. So make sure you like and subscribe, and check out our social media pages, Facebook and Instagram, to get daily updates. We'll be sharing exactly what we're seeing from the tree, the rut activity we're seeing day to day, all that we'll be sharing. So make sure you stay up to date. Here in southern Missouri, the leaves are just starting to turn color, and a few are starting to hit the ground. It's a great time to be outside in a tree stand or to take a hike, just to be out and enjoy creation. No matter how you're getting outside this week, I hope you slow down, take time, listen to the Creator and the purpose He has for your life. Thanks for watching Growing Deer.